Hi everybody, this is TheHande Mäkinen, and this is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Yes, we're doing another Sonic Let's Play on this channel, and just as before, on this channel I earlier did Sonic the Hedgehog 1 PAL Let's Play, so just reminding everybody, not American, I'm European. I call it the MegaDrive, and last time I played Sonic the Hedgehog for the in the PAL version on this channel, and now we're playing Sonic 2, which is my favorite Sonic game. Hands down and pants down. That's a joke. Alright, I legit love this fucking game. And we are doing this indeed with the MegaDrive, again. And you might be able to see it. I'm not sure if I'm going to edit it out completely, but you will see those blue borders again, the same as were in the Sonic 1 Let's Play. But you will notice that this game doesn't actually run all that much slower than the original. That was the reason I really wanted to do Sonic 1 PAL version, because I think it's a highly underappreciated version of that game. Because, well, it's my favorite version of the game, but of course I realize it's not a lot of other people's favorite version of the game. Okay, as much as I do love Sonic 1, I do have to admit that having the spin dash, yeah, it does definitely make the game a lot easier. And this is what is it? Emerald Hill Zone or something? Yeah, this is just kind of Green Hill Zone 2.0. It's not really much of an upgrade. I do prefer original Green Hill Zone over this. But after this, the levels start to get a whole lot more interesting. Yeah, Emerald Hill Zone, that's what I thought. I will say, even though Sonic 3, not really my favorite Sonic game, but it's, at least I will give it credit that it actually had a slightly more original, well, not just barely more original opening stage, because it was in the jungle, as opposed to this. It gets quite grim, also, with the fire that burns it, but honestly, I've never been a big fan of Sonic 3. The only thing about Sonic 3 that I really like is the fact that it introduced Knuckles, who's one of my favorite characters. And actually, I'm recording this, we did over at Dorupka's channel, you might want to go check it out if you want, but we started doing a tabletop RPG based on the Sonic series. That was partly my idea. Actually, I played Knuckles in that. And it's funny because you will hear, if you go watch that session, I do recommend if you're into that kind of thing. Here's the worst boss fight, perhaps, of the whole Sonic series. Well, I don't know. Labyrinth Zone from the first game's pretty hard to beat, but this is seriously some shit. Like, I will say also in defense of Sonic 3, as much as I don't necessarily like it that much, I do think the boss fights are a lot more interesting and way better than either of the first two Sonics. But really, let's be honest, Sonic is more about the levels and less about the bosses anyway. I love this. I love doing this to Tails every time. Yeah. So, the way, in this game, they were able to fix that problem that I was talking about, which was the PAL slow up, by basically squeezing the resolution down. And this is something that I do remember they did on the Super Nintendo games a lot as well from this time. And the Super Nintendo games resultantly did run pretty much equivalent to the NTSC speeds. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I recommend checking out the Technobabble episode of the original Sonic the Hedgehog. I'll explain it in much better detail. But this is my favorite Sonic game. Sonic 1 alternates between... really kind of alternates between... It really depends on the kind of mood I'm in. It alternates between being my second to third favorite Sonic game, because the game that I obviously love... my favorite 3D Sonic game, which is my second favorite Sonic game, on most days is Sonic Adventure 2. But Sonic Adventure 2, as much as I do like it, as much as it's a little bit... The thing about it is that it is a story-oriented Sonic game, and that slightly slows the game down a little bit. I'm not complaining. I do like it when the Sonic games have a story. That's not my hiccup. I really don't understand people who don't like Sonic games that don't have a plot, because, let's face it, Sonic is pretty... the Sonic canon is pretty barren as far as lore is concerned. And yes, I am actually excited for the Sonic movie. They delayed the release date. I think everybody has heard that part already about it. But honestly, like I'm genuinely excited for it. I do want to see it, and I'm just genuinely curious about how they handled it. And it's kind of funny that because people freaked out because the 3D rendered Sonic originally. I do think that the design was kind of weird, but I didn't think it was like terrible, like some people. But now, of course, so they're gonna redo it, and I think even some of Sonic's original creators also reacted that they were relieved that they were changing it. But it's funny now that I saw somebody on Twitter say that, but this design of Sonic's really growing on me, and it's like, you know, well, that's what happens. It is kind of annoying that they had to push it back so much, because I'm afraid what's going to probably happen is that when the movie finally does come out, then everybody will have forgotten about, like, why everybody was so worked up. Honestly, I think the movie studios released trailers way too early. I think you don't need to get hyped up for a movie, or unhyped for a movie, like, you know, half a year before it's even gonna come out. Oh god, I managed to escape. Okay, you can't escape those. I wasn't pushing the buttons just for nothing. Yes. And the thing is, I do have multiple versions of this game, and I decided to give the MegaDrive another chance, because previously my video capture settings were just awful on this, so that's the reason why the game looked like ass. So I'm hoping the picture quality will be at least moderately better than in the Sonic 1 Let's Play. And because it is, I just love playing on the MegaDrive. Even with all the problems and all the complaints I've had, just check out my Chuck Rock Let's Play. That was a great example of another technical hitch I had. I can use the audio from the game. But, you know, I wanted to actually play this, because I do, of course I have the Sonic Mega Collection, and I could have used that to capture this just as easily. It even runs the PAL version of Sonic 1, which I thought is, I love the fact that it does that. I do think the fact that the GameCube has such a tiny D-pad is a bit annoying. You can't really play Sonic with an analog stick, come on. Unless it's a 3D Sonic. And I do have the Sega Mega Drive Classics collection on the Xbox One. I could have actually played it doing that, but that one does not have the PAL version. It's only the NTSC versions of the games, and that fucking sucks, because you know, people can say all they want about, like, what the NTSC version is, that it's better than the PAL version because it doesn't have to slow up or anything. Wow, that has not happened in a while. Okay. Got killed. I don't usually die in this Robotnik fight. Now I don't have any rings. Wait, how far back did I go? Are you kidding me? Is there not... Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, it's this part. Yeah, this is annoying. This is... I think we died... I think this spot, when we were kids, we died more on than anywhere else in the game, because this is such a tricky part. I guess you could jump... If you make the jump just before the ridge, you can survive it, but this is, like, seriously a newbie trap for most people. Oh man. And so, you know, to me, the fact that people can say all they want that the NTSC version is the superior version, I don't fucking care, because that's not the version I grew up playing. If I play a retro game, I want to play it the way I played it as a kid. That's the thing I loved about, like, the emulation on the Wii, like the Nintendo 64 games. I guess they ran a little bit smoother than they did on the original system, but still, it was pretty damn close. Like, you can play a version of, like Mario 64 or Ocarina of Time on that, and go back on, and it doesn't really seem that, and go back to using, like, the original system. It doesn't really feel that much different, except that, of course, you could use a GameCube controller on when you were playing it on the Wii, which was great, because, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, like, the N64 is my favorite video game console of all time, but it does definitely have one of the least durable analog sticks ever conceived. Like, you know, Goin Thicc on them sticks is usually a good way to go with that. And I really hope we're gonna hopefully rack up. I think I got a couple of continues already, and I hope to rack up a few continues. I'm not doing like a conceited effort. I'm not like a. I don't have like a planned effort of getting all the as many continues as possible. But obviously, it's gonna be helpful because especially later in the game, you're gonna be dying a lot. Oh shit! Those arrows keep getting me. And yes, I do plan to finish the whole game. We did it. I did Sonic 1 in 3 episodes, so I'm hoping. Or was it 3 episodes? Actually, I don't remember. 3 or 4. And I hope to do the equivalent amount. And here's the funny thing about Sonic 1 versus Sonic 2 that I actually like about Sonic 1 and I kind of hate about Sonic 2. I mean, this game is better. Objectively, it is better. But certain things about Sonic 1 that I like. Well, okay, like the spin dash. The spin dash definitely makes the game easier. But I kind of like the fact that in Sonic 1 you didn't have to spin dash. The same way I kind of like when I did the Super Mario Brothers 1 Let's Play, the little one-off I did. You know, I actually don't mind having like more limited controls in certain instances, especially if that's the way the game was originally. You know, like in Jazz Jackrabbit 1, I don't mind that you can't shoot up. I mean, it definitely makes the game harder, don't get me wrong, and Jazz 2 is much easier because you can shoot up. But it doesn't bother me. It bothers me, limited controls only bother me in games where the developers just intentionally decided that they were gonna like limit the controls. Think Mega Man 9 and 10, which I don't hate 9. I think it's a decent game. But that's the thing. Like, as much as I loved 9 when it was new, I realize of all the Mega Man games, I really do come back to that game the least. Oh shit! Ah man, I messed up again. I could have gone up on that totem pole before it. Like, okay, didn't have enough speed there. Okay. I didn't have enough, like, what am I trying to say? What? Now I did make it? What the hell? Wow, the game's freaking out. So, what was I even trying to say? I don't even remember anymore. Wait, I'll get on the, can I? No, I can't. Yeah, you can get a couple of really easy hits if you start off from the top of the totem pole first, and then only start hitting him. Oh man, wow! I have not done this boss fight this slowly in quite some time. And to be honest, I don't think as kids we were really good enough to even get past Chemical Plant Zone. By the way, I love Chemical Plant Zone. So Sonic Adventure. So this game is my favorite Sonic game, and depending on the day, either Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic the Hedgehog 1 are my second and third favorites. And then I would say maybe Sonic Adventure, the first one. I have my complaints with that, but it is a fun game. Oh, the first real Casino Zone level. Like, we have the Spring Yard Zone, of course, in the original Sonic, but I don't really count Spring Yard Zone as a proper casino level. I'm gonna get the speed up. Power up, even though it's terrifying. That's why I was kind of dicking around there. Wait, I do think we may have gotten at least up to this level, but I don't think much further than this. I do remember us making it to this level, but is the cave one after this, or... We never got to Oil Ocean at any rate. I don't remember us getting to that part of the game as kids. So, just to clarify, I was a Nintendo kid, not a Sega kid. I did not have any Sega consoles as a kid. So this MegaDrive that I'm playing with is, playing this game on, was gifted to me by my extremely awesome sister Minna, who just knows that I'm an old retro freak, and so that's why she keeps getting me old games and systems, and I really do appreciate it. Yeah. here we go. Here we go. I'm so tempted to just do Mario all the time. Yeah. And also, I gotta be honest, like, I've never even, like, beaten, like, it's not that I just don't like Sonic 3, it's honestly, like, I've beaten Sonic 3, I've never beaten Sonic and Knuckles, which, and I certainly have never beaten Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which is, you know, which all it does is it's Sonic 3, and then you have to play through the levels from Sonic and Knuckles, and those levels are fun, sure, but, you know, it's too much, like, of this, just more of the same. Like, you know, that's why I don't mind, like, you know, with Mario, like, that's why I don't never really minded, like, Mario 2 being so drastically different, because you have Super Mario Brothers, which is a fantastic fucking game. Then you have the superior version of it, which is Mario 3. And then, in between those you have something completely different, which is Mario 2. And then you have Mario World, which is just a prettier version of Mario 3. It's not really any different, and it's not better, in my opinion. And then, well, if you watch that one-off, I was talking of Mario 1, like I talked about how much I love the new Super Mario Brothers games, and new Super Mario Brothers U in particular is great. But it's a great game for a game that isn't really that challenging for an old-school Mario player like myself. I know I'm selling myself up really badly here, but seriously. By the way, just leave it in the comments. Would you like to see me actually Let's Play new Super Mario Brothers U? I would love to. I would absolutely love to. But that's the thing. It's not really a hard game, but it's the kind of game that I enjoy playing. It's the same problem, and I don't think it's even like necessarily that Nintendo is intentionally making those games easier. It's just that I'm just too... my skill level for Mario is just like comparatively so good that when you put a level game with... Like, I think difficulty-wise it's pretty medium probably for like modern audiences. But just because my particular skill set is that high, it doesn't really provide me with much challenge. Like, that's actually one of the reasons why I like playing Mario 1 so much, because it does offer a lot of challenge, and I talked about this in Mario Maker. My favorite levels to do are Mario 1 levels, because I love the fact that you don't have, you know, the powers. By the way, I don't have Mario Maker 2 because I don't have a Switch. But Minna has a Switch, and the reason I'm not too interested right now because there's really not a single game on the Switch that I really would want badly, or which I wouldn't already have on the Wii U. The one that I'm really waiting for is Metroid Prime 4, because, and especially now that Retro Studios coming back to do it. I do hate the fact that Nintendo announced you know, when they confirmed that it was finally coming, that, you know, that they basically restarted work on it. Because, you know, god damn it. You know, Metroid Prime 3 is my favorite Wii game, hands down. I love that game. Okay, this is another good way to get a head start on this. Well, there, I lost it already. Oh, my invincibility. Oh boy. And also, just to finish up on my favorite, like, Sonic games, like, the 5th place, I have an old blog on my, I have an old blog where I mentioned that my 5th favorite Sonic game is Sonic Generations, and I think that would be pretty applicable. Like, Sonic Forces is pretty close. I really like Sonic Forces, but I think I do like the simplicity of Sonic Generations a bit more. Like, not to say that Sonic Forces isn't, like, you know, simple, or that, you know, that it's, or that there's anything wrong with that. But I just prefer the style of Sonic Generations. And I think that's where we're gonna end for this first episode, and we'll continue next time. So see you then. Bye.